Hey everyone, it's Beth McCord, and this is your Enneagram Coach, the podcast. It is our mission to help you to understand yourself with astonishing clarity so that you can break free from self-condemnation, fear, and shame by knowing and experiencing the unconditional love, forgiveness, and freedom in Christ. Well, I hope you guys know that we're on YouTube and you're actually there right now watching us in this podcast. If not, head on over there, see me and our guest today, because it's super fun just kind of watching a podcast, but also hit subscribe and like, and then the notification so you're notified when all of this stuff takes place. Well, today, as you can see, Jeff is not here. You're not hearing Jeff, but I have a new co-host for today's special episode, and it's our Director of Marketing, Christy Wicks. Now, she has put together this most epic holiday gift guide for you guys to use this holiday season. So, Christy, welcome, and thanks for putting that incredible and amazing, and it's just like so stunning to look at too, gift guide for all of us to use. It will help us to not have that burden that we always experience, like during that holiday season of what am I going to give my spouse or my kids or my parents or my in-laws, oh my gosh, coworkers and such, because it's really hard to be thoughtful in, a season that we're already super busy with, but then to be mindful and thoughtful, and I don't know what they want. I know what I want, but I don't know what other people want. So thank you so much for just taking so much time and energy to put this together. I know that along with Jane, our graphic designer, you two really worked hard at putting together this beautifully laid out gift guide. So thank you so much for doing that and for joining us today.
Yeah, thank you for having me. I am so excited to be on the podcast. I also had some help from my sister on this. I don't know if you knew that. So my
I
sister,
didn't.
she runs an online shop called Margin Social. And so she's always seeing the new brands and the new
Oh,
trends.
yeah.
So I'm not that big of a shopper, but I love putting
Uh-huh.
together, guides. I think it's the 7 in me, the like pattern connecting. It is so
Yes.
fun to put together helpful guides for people.
And what type is your sister?
She's a 3.
Okay.
So
And she's your twin.
yes.
Yes. Okay.
Yeah.
So the 3 that is, let's get this done. And, just she's on task mode and you're like, yeah, but let's connect all the dots. I mean, you can see it throughout this whole gift guide. That's amazing.
Thanks. I am so excited for this guide to help our followers and subscribers just have a slower and more meaningful holiday season. Because I
Yeah.
know that obligation of gift giving, like you want to give great gifts. So there's this excitement there, but at the same time, it can feel so burdensome to especially like
Absolutely.
share the people that you love the most to give them something really meaningful. And so
Yeah.
I am so excited that this can help ease that
Well, and
burden.
I know all the 9 types are going to love this gift guide, but I'll just say from a 9's perspective, we just want to make everyone happy. And we don't sometimes even know how to do that. And I mean, unless we ask, but even that, sometimes the person doesn't know, or they are just very vague. And so for all of us 9s out there, this is going to be immensely helpful. Even if it's not that you're going to buy the exact gifts that are on here, which I do recommend, it at least gives you a framework in how to think about your loved ones. And so I just wanted to put that plug in there for all, because we have a lot of type 9s that follow us. And just to let you know, guys, this is going to be immensely helpful for you.
Yeah, and helpful for the people shopping for the type 9s because it's
Right.
hard for 9s, to come up with what they want. So,
Yes,
I was thinking about that a lot
absolutely.
as I was putting this together. So, by the end of this podcast episode, all of our listeners will have a solid plan in place for what to give each type in their life.
Good.
And
That's
to go ahead
awesome.
and check out that online guide right now, you can go to yourenneagramcoach.com/gift-guide. And that guide is totally clickable, so you can go ahead and fill your cart easily and discover some new favorite brands all along the way.
That's awesome. That is so great. Well, I cannot wait to just dive in and to help people really kind of think through just like beyond the intangible or the tangible gifts, but to look at more in a concrete way why you want to and how to think about your friends, family, and coworkers, their preferences and likes and like all the things that are going on. So in addition to hearing specific products that, will make great gifts, you're also going to hear about why certain types love to get certain gifts in particular ways. Plus, I think, can you just highlight a little bit on the discount codes that you have in there? Like, this isn't just a gift guide, like with no like bells and whistles. I mean, you have gotten discount codes, other things that are really beneficial to those that are going to use the guide, but also really focused in on the Enneagram enthusiast. Is that right?
Yes. Yes. So for one thing, we've reached out to a lot of these brands and we told them about our listeners. And we said, we want to give something really special to our listeners. So several of these brands said, okay, we'll set up a 15% off discount. We'll set up a 40% off discount.
Wow.
Which
Wow.
I'm really excited to share, but I'll wait until we get to that type to share who's giving 40% off.
Yeah.
So I'm so excited for us to be able to offer that. And then also before we jump into all of our types, we want to talk about what gifts you should give the Enneagram enthusiast.
Yes.
And for
because that's who's listening, right?
Yeah, that's you.
Yeah.
You are in this camp. And so we also are giving a big discount on some of our Enneagram resources.
Yeah.
So we will actually be giving 50% off several of our Enneagram resources.
That's
And
awesome.
Beth, do you want to share about some of the courses?
Yeah, 50% off. Come on, guys. Like, this is the time of year to dive in, like, even if it's a gift for yourself. So don't count yourself out on this. But yeah, so we have several courses that are going to be very beneficial for you guys. So we have a 3-step coaching model of discover, explore, become. So we want you to discover the Enneagram and your type, explore your type so that you can then become the best version of yourself. So the Discovering You course, that is a self-paced course that introduces you to the Enneagram and helps you to unlock clarity for yourself and the people around you. And like she said, that's 50% off. So all of these courses, you can easily go to yourenneagramcoach.com/holiday22, and you'll see all of them there. We'll also have this in the show notes. And if you get our emails for the podcast, you'll see it there as well. Now, the second course is Exploring You. Now, this is an in-depth exploration of your Enneagram type that provides you a personal roadmap to a fulfilling life for your type. So we're talking about real accelerated transformation for you. And basically, I'm coaching and guiding you just like I would do all of my clients that I do in person. So you're going to get the heart of what I do in this course. And again, it's 50% off. And you can get it again at yourenneagramcoach.com/holiday22. Well, which means the year 2022. Okay, then Becoming Us. Now, guys, this is amazing course. Well, I should say 45 courses, and you're thinking, I'm not going to buy 45 courses, Beth. No, you don't have to buy 45 courses because there's one for each couple type combination. So for married couples, or engaged couples, this is a great opportunity for you guys to have meaningful connection with the two of you. So there are 45 courses and they are customized to your two types. So for instance, Jeff and I are type 6 and a 9. There's a course for us, but Christy and John, they are 2 7s. There is a course for 2 7s that are in relationship. And I coach and guide you each step of the way, along with Jeff. And so that course is 50% off, and you get a 64-page customized workbook that is just for your two types that you guys can use as a reference all year long. And then our Become an Enneagram Coach. Guys, this is just the heart of what we do here at Your Enneagram Coach. We help train coaches around the globe. We have over 2,000 coaches in 25 plus countries. And this will accelerate your training into becoming a coach or using it in the workspace that you're currently at, maybe a counselor or ministry, or maybe you're in HR of some kind. But you can use this training to maybe have a side hustle, part-time job, or a full-time income. And we are actually giving $500 off for this course right now. And so you can go get your Become an Enneagram Coach course with this huge discount at yourenneagramcoach.com/BEC and use the coupon code winter22. I was going to say 2022 because that's the year, but it's winter22. And again, these will all be in the show notes and in the email for podcast. If you have any questions, don't hesitate to email our team at info@yourenneagramcoach.com. So if you forgot what I'm saying, you can't, rewind, or you don't have the email for some reason, just email us. We are happy to help. So Christy, can you share a little bit more about some of the other ones that we wanted to highlight first?
Yeah. But I also want to say, John and I did the Becoming Us course, and
Oh yeah.
I just loved it. Since we are the same type, so
Yep.
often we already understand where the other person is coming from. So we do
Sure.
feel often that our relationship is a little bit easier than if we were coming
Mm,
from totally different, perspectives.
sure.
But to see the 7 and 7 communication styles just like laid out on the screen, and to see actually like visually depicting, what it's like when I say something and how he's receiving it, it
Yeah.
was still so powerful.
Mm,
And I kept thinking, Becoming Us is such a great example of how the Enneagram is helpful in my life at least, our parents. So,
yes.
like the generation ahead of us that may be a little more skeptical about the Enneagram, that
Hmm.
Becoming Us course just seems like it really lays out so clearly how to get immediate fruit from
Right.
knowing more about your type and your spouse's
Hmm.
type. So,
Yeah. And also like what you were saying, but even I was even thinking like, let's say you're really stuck in your relationship with like you and your dad, and your
uh-huh.
dad is like, let's say a type 1,
Mhm.
and you're like, so the course, though it's under the umbrella of marriage, it's really a relationship course. So
Uh-huh.
it would even be really helpful to use in that, you just obviously change some of the wording from marriage stuff into relationship stuff, but it really helps, like you said, with communication style, conflict, how to become your better selves together. So yeah, but that's not necessarily where you're going, but go ahead with what you were saying.
Yeah. Yeah, I think of my in-laws. My father-in-law has always worked in a church, and he has heard
Hmm.
us talking about the Enneagram for 7 years,
Yeah,
always with kind of this skepticism. And
sure.
so I just feel like Becoming Us is such a great first step for him to better understand why we love the Enneagram, but also to experience, improvement in his own relationships. So
Yeah.
I highly recommend that as a
Mm.
gift to friends and family.
Yeah,
Um,
and I love what you said right there, because at the beginning of the course is a very quick overview of the Enneagram, something that, someone of either that generation or who's a newbie to the Enneagram can quickly understand what the Enneagram is without going too into deep into the woods or
mhm.
into the weeds, and feel overwhelmed. And so, yeah, you're right. That would be a great course as an introduction, but also as practical resources, because it's very practical. Like, here's how you communicate when you're doing well, when you're not doing well, and here's how your spouse communicates when they're doing well and not doing well, and here are some steps to make it even better. So I love that you brought that up. Thank you so much.
Yeah. Thank you for creating it.
It was a labor of love for the entire team, I will say.
And a few other Enneagram gifts are from some other brands. So, outside of your Enneagram coach, we have found some Enneagram gifts that are so fun. And one of
Mhm.
those is by Lindsay Letters. We love Lindsay Letters.
Yes.
Beth, you led that Instagram live with Lindsay earlier this year,
Mhm.
and it was so powerful.
Yeah, if
Lindsay,
people want to watch it, they just go to our Instagram account and go
mhm.
to, I think it's lives, or somewhere where the lives live, because it's like an hour long. So wherever those live on Instagram, you can find it under Ennea Tour. I put it under a series called Ennea Tour, and it was so good. I mean, she's a type 8, and she got real vulnerable with us. And if you've ever wanted to see the vulnerability of an 8 and how beautiful it is, that is a perfect way to spend your time.
Yeah. Yeah. Lindsay is a powerhouse, just like advocating for her family and for others. So it's so wonderful to watch that. And she's also an artist. And so she runs a business where she helps people, the everyday person, embrace art. And we're going to talk a little bit more about Lindsay later on the podcast, but
Okay.
she has some Enneagram t-shirts, and those t-shirts, she has a couple different styles. There is one styled in typography, and then the other is actually hand lettered in her signature style. And the t-shirts show your wing. So, people tend to lean more towards one wing, or at least have more awareness of it. For instance, I have more awareness of my 8 wing, but I still use my 6 wing. And, Beth and Jeff help me figure out when I'm using my 6 wing.
Yeah, exactly.
So if you would like to, show your type, wear it proudly, you should go get an Enneagram t-shirt from Lindsay Letter's store. And then the other Enneagram gift that we recommend is a Patty Wax candle. So Patty Wax is a local company in Nashville, and they have selected fragrances to represent each Enneagram type. So Beth, I went ahead and pulled the scents that they did for the type 7 and the type 9.
Oh yeah, that'd be fun.
To show how they're thinking through this. And I actually really agree. See, looking over this, I was skeptical at first, are they really going to know how to show a type 7 in, candle form? But I'm impressed. So the type 7, they've called it cactus flower, and the top notes scents that they say are in it are dewy pear and bergamot and coconut water. So looking over that, then I see these refreshing, energetic, lively aromas that are so true to the type 7. And then for the type 9, they've labeled the type 9 scent as sage and lavender, with these top notes of eucalyptus leaves and crushed lavender. And so of course, you hear that and you're like,
sign me up.
I'm sitting in a spa just hearing that, calming, serene scent. So I love what they've done, at least with the 7s and the 9s. And I'm sure the rest of the types are also just spot on.
Sounds like they're very thoughtful in that, which, makes sense. That's the whole point of the Enneagram. But yeah, I would totally sign up for the type 9 one. But, it's also fun because when we do EIP, Enneagram Internal Profile, if you want, for me as a type 9, if I'm feeling like I need some of that 3 energy right now, maybe getting a 3 candle and putting that scent on to bring some more productivity and confidence to the 9 part, of my heart, so you can maybe even use it to bring yourself into one of have the influence of one of the other types to kind of get you going in that area if it's needed.
Yeah, I love that thought. What a coach thing of you to recommend.
Right.
And the candles are also in these beautiful boxes. Patty Wax is a part of a design first company. And so the gift, it's as if the box is already gift wrapped.
Wow.
So it'll be so fun to pass these out.
All 9s and 5s would love to hear that. You mean I don't have to gift wrap it? Now maybe the 4s and the 7s would prefer to have a unique gift wrapping, and you can still do that. But for us that are more simple, that's awesome. I'd love to know that. That's great.
Yeah.
Well, that's awesome. Well, let's dive in and help our listeners to really understand kind of how to think through gift giving by each type. Because typically we give gifts to others that we love the way we want to give or get gifts. But that doesn't always land on the other person very well. And then we see them when we give the gift and they're like, thanks. And you're like, wait, what? I was, giving you what I want, basically. like for me as a nine, I will give probably pretty simple, practical gifts because that's kind of how I would want it, or I'm just not even thinking about what I want. And so here's a generic gift card. So I think it will be really helpful to have us kind of walk through what each type really wants, but also to help us to get unstuck. I know as a nine, I just want to make everyone happy. And again, this gift guide is going to be really powerful to give me some of these insights that I may not naturally have for my own. So thank you, Christy, for just putting it all together.
Yeah. Well, to get started, Beth, can you tell us when you are shopping for a type one, what should you keep in mind? What are those intangibles? So, what are the desires or the feelings or the needs that you should consider to, pick out a gift that's really meaningful to the type
Yeah.
one?
So most ones don't want or appreciate gifts that are just silly, weird, and impractical, since, for them, they don't really see how it's going to improve or better their lives in a practical way. And they just think it's going to end up on a shelf, cluttering their space, which is the opposite of what a type one is desiring. So, it's more thoughtful to give the type one gifts that are practical and that gives them maybe an experience that will enhance their life. So, for example, they enjoy gifts that are given to them that show like appreciation for their hard work. Maybe like you give them a trip to the spa or a massage or just a travel gift card, like something that's like, hey, I've seen how hard you've worked. Now, if you put a date on it, that could really throw them off. So you don't want to put a date on it. You want them to be able to schedule around all their responsibilities, but to give them something that allows them to enjoy the pleasure of their hard work is really, really cool. They also appreciate practical gifts that improve, enhance, and transform their day-to-day life. So a thoughtful gift, that will help them to basically just take their life quality from where they are to that next level is really important. So, Christy, can you share with us some of the more tangible gift ideas that we can give to the type one?
Yeah. So, throughout the gift guide, we picked out one main gift,
Mm-hmm.
and really, dove into why that primary gift is going to just hit the spot with each of the types. And for the type one, we have selected this high quality, excellent gift that makes the world a better place. So,
Mm,
excellent in creation, but also really improving the world, which we know our ones are passionate about doing. So,
yes.
the product that we've chosen is the Clean and Caffeinated Bundle by
Mm,
Humphrey Street.
okay.
So, Humphrey Street is a Nashville local business, it's a social enterprise, and they have this tagline. So, they roast coffee, and they
Okay.
have a coffee shop in town, and then they also make soap.
Oh, okay.
But the people making this soap and roasting the coffee beans are actually students in South Nashville. So
Huh.
Humphrey Street was born out of a desire to raise up leaders within the South Nashville neighborhood where
Mm,
these students didn't have opportunities before. So,
uh-huh.
Humphrey Street actually creates jobs, provides mentorship opportunities, and then teaches job skills that
Mm,
empower the youth in this area. It is so
wow.
incredible. Sometimes you walk into a coffee shop and it's a cause driven coffee shop. I've seen plenty of those around.
Yeah.
But as a consumer often that that might mean the quality is lower. So
Yeah.
you feel like you're being charitable when you visit, and that's okay. It's like we give this allowance. Humphrey
Mm-hmm.
Street is not that coffee
Mm,
shop. Humphrey Street still hits the bar. Like they are hitting the standard of non-cause driven coffee shops and
right.
coffee producers. So there's so much excellence in what they do. I just love Humphrey Street so much. And so our type ones are going to love this clean and caffeinated gift because one, you're hitting their need for cleanliness.
Yeah.
The everything, there's a place for everything with the type one.
Mm-hmm.
disorder is disruptive.
Mm-hmm.
And so you've got that with the soap in this bundle, but then there's also a bag of coffee beans. And so,
Mm.
what type 1 doesn't want some caffeine to stay alert as
Right.
they're
To get
doing
them through their day.
all of the productive things?
Yes.
Um,
Yeah.
Man, so many type 1s in my life will work a full day and then they get home and they work on all of these other things when they get home.
Yeah.
So this caffeine will go a long way there. And then we have selected a couple of other gift ideas as well. One is a packing cube set from Bagu.
Mm-hmm.
So, these are the little organizers to put inside your luggage. And I love thinking about when the type 1 is moving more towards their 7 connection. So they're
Right.
out,
Right.
they're having fun, they're on vacation, but they
Yep.
still need order. So
Yep.
this is going to be
Absolutely.
such a gift to them with this packing cube set. And then another gift we've picked out is a matching cookware set by
Hmm.
Caraway. These are high quality, beautifully produced cookware that you can actually, they have a storage setup that comes with the cookware set. So
Mm-hmm.
it's easy to, slide it into any kitchen. It'll fit perfectly and will work amazing.
Yeah. Wow. I love those ideas. Those are, like you said, we're wanting our type ones to move to the healthy side, the high side of 7, which can be really hard for them because they have a long list of responsibilities. And a lot of times they think, well, if I move to 7, that means I'm going to be childish. And we're like, well, maybe at the less healthy part of 7, but if we're wanting you to go to the healthy part of 7, it means that you're childlike, that you're enjoying life, that you delight in the experiences of life. And so, yeah, going on an experience and travel and those cubes or cooking something on new cookware, like all of those things can bring them to that fun enjoyment of life. So I love those gifts that you picked out.
Thanks. Yeah, well, let's go ahead and move on to the type 2. So
All
Beth,
right.
I'd love to hear from you again when we're going to shop for the type 2. What are those desires and needs that we should keep in mind?
Yeah. So first, we got to remember that twos desire to be loved, wanted, and appreciated. Since they fear not being loved, they fear being rejected and not wanted, or that others don't need them. And this correlates with their gift giving and receiving style. So they are extremely thoughtful in their gift giving to others. In fact, twos will spend most of the year thinking through gift ideas. And they do this by listening and attuning themselves to what you say throughout the year. So if I were to say, oh man, that cookbook looks amazing, I might get that someday. And I'm literally just thinking it, out loud or something. The type 2 in my life has mentally written that down in their mind, and they're so gifted at this. This is like a superpower that they have. Therefore, they desire thoughtful gifts to them, and they receive it really well when you've been thoughtful, because they're trying to be really thoughtful to you. Now, this can be really hard for the other types because this isn't our superpower. I am one of them. And so, a strategy that I would recommend to all of us is to, in your note file on your phone or wherever, it could be like a piece of paper, just have gift giving notes, and maybe your type 2 in particular, but it could be, all the people in your life that you want to actually remember gift giving ideas, but particularly the 2 in your life. When you hear them say, like, oh man, that, trying to think of like something they might, really enjoy. I'm just trying to think of like my daughter. Like she loves to bake and cook and do lots of things that are a blessing to others. Like she loves to make
Mhm.
like sourdough bread and all this stuff. Okay, well, maybe I'll give her specific flour that she uses in baking that bread that she gives to others because it's expensive. So if she were to say something like, oh man, the bread I use can get really expensive, but I love doing it, then I can jot that down. Like that could be a really great gift giving, like a part of a package, that I can give her several pounds of flour that is, expensive for her. So those are the kinds of things that you want to jot down that you hear from the type two, because they will feel like, wow, you really listened and attuned to me. Now, one of the worst gifts that you can give a type two, unless they explicitly say, is some sort of generic like gift card or money, because they're going to feel like you really didn't think about them at all or listen to anything they said. And I will raise my hand that that probably is something that I would do as a nine, because it's like, well, I don't know what, if I don't know what to get someone, I don't want to try and upset them or get the wrong thing. So for the nine, it feels the safest to give money or gift card. So this stretches me. That's why I give that idea of the notes, and try to be mindful of writing down notes for your type twos, because they'll feel really loved. So what about you, Christy? What are your thoughts in or the things that you've picked out for the type twos?
Yeah. I love that piece of advice. I think that is so helpful. I Gosh, I just feel so empathetic towards type twos. They're just constantly serving and helping and giving to everyone. And I hate
Mm-hmm.
for them to not be, loved, or to not feel loved in return, as
Right.
others are showing that in different ways than they show it.
Right.
And so, to, repay the generosity of the type two, we have selected a gift by this amazing social enterprise. Again, it's local to Nashville, but they have a global footprint. And the
Mm-hmm.
company is called Able. Able makes leather goods and clothing, and Able is passionate about empowering the women who wear their products and the women who make their products. So they're
Yeah.
actually creating jobs for women around the world. And they're also really focused on the entire production process. So Able
Hmm.
has worked hard to, bring some transparency into production and making sure people are considered and valued at every step.
Hmm.
So, the specific product that we've selected from Able is the Mamuye Classic Tote.
Hmm.
So this tote is beautiful. You can carry it everywhere. I actually have one of these. I bought it, gosh, probably a decade ago at this point, and that
Wow.
just goes to show, Able creates these
Yeah.
products that are designed to last a lifetime, and mine is still just working perfectly. So
Wow.
I can personally attest to the Mamuye Classic Tote. And this will empower the type 2 to, go about their day, solving all of the world's problems, helping all of
Yes.
their friends. This will be their go-to bag to carry all of their essentials. And then all
Yeah.
of the
Well, and
tools.
all of the essentials for everyone else. I mean,
Yes.
truly, and I'm not just saying that like tongue in cheek, like it's true. Like in a type two's purse, you're going to find lots of items that others might need. I, as a nine, carry my phone that has a wallet magnet to it, and that's it.
Yeah.
I don't even have like, so it's so fun to think through how the different types think and are ready for different scenarios. I'm just wanting to be flexible and like, I don't want anything to weigh me down, to be moldable and like accommodating. But for the two, they're really thinking about others. And I will say, before you tell the amazing discount on this one, um, my daughter, when she looked at the gift guide, she's our social media manager, Libby Christensen, if you see her on Instagram. She's a type two. And when she saw that you got the that you got Able
Uh-huh.
to give you a discount. She was like, oh my gosh, Mom, Able is amazing. I love Able. And I was like, that's so awesome, because it's for the type two. So why don't you tell everyone the amazing discount for this one?
Yeah. Well, first off, I skipped something. I wanted to mention
Oh,
every item that Able produces is actually named after a woman who helped bring that
mm,
product to life. And that is
wow.
so powerful. So when you're shopping the Able website and you see those names that may not sound super familiar, like each of those names represent a woman somewhere in the world who is working hard on these products.
Yeah.
So beautiful, and such a showing of appreciation for people's hard work. So again, that just ties back to, the type 2 wants to be appreciated. And I love that Abel is doing that with
Yeah.
the women who work on their products. So back to the discount, our followers can get 40% off of Abel items.
That is amazing.
Oh, it's such an
40%
amazing
off,
deal.
especially when you've had this bag for 10 years
Yes.
and it's still like ready to go.
Mhm.
Awesome. Amazing. To get 40% off, that is amazing. So thank you, Abel, for making this possible for anyone that is going to use the coupon code, which is?
The discount code is Enneagram 40. So
Okay.
just enter Enneagram 40 at checkout and you should see 40% in savings.
That's
So
amazing. Thanks for
you're
getting that for
so
them. And thanks,
grateful.
Abel. Wow, that's
Yeah.
awesome.
And then we have a couple of other gifts that we recommend for the type 2. And it's funny that you say Libby loves to bake. I didn't know that, but I have had several other 2s in my life who are constantly baking and dropping things off.
Like, here's just like an insight to the 2s. So as a 9, when she was growing up, we would have to, like, let's say, bring cookies or whatever to the school function or whatever. And I'm like, let's just go to the store and pick up a box of cookies, And she's like, oh, Mom, no, cannot do that. It has to be from scratch. Like, literally, like, I have to put my love into the cookies. And I'm thinking, no, we don't, and I'm thinking as a 9, all the mess. Now, there's some 9s that love to cook, so I'm not saying that all 9s are like me. I'm just thinking the mess, the chaos, can't we just make this simple, whereas she wants to put her effort and her love and her attention into the actual gift that she is presenting. So, yeah, so that is kind of an insight on 2s.
Yeah, I remember a close friend of mine used to always make homemade cinnamon rolls anytime we would do brunch. And
Mm-hmm.
I was putting together a brunch last minute one time and I said, "Hey, Heather, what do you want to bring?" Because everybody would kind of split up what they were bringing. And she was like, "Oh my gosh, I already have plans. I don't have 6 hours to put into the cinnamon rolls." And it was so funny because I'm like, "Heather, you could pick up fruit. Like, you want to bring strawberries? Like, that's all we need.
Right.
Don't put this burden on yourself."
Right. Yeah.
So the item that we've selected, in addition to that Able bag, one is a newer cookbook in the market. It's called "What's for Dessert? Simple Recipes for Dessert People," a baking book. And this is by Claire Saffitz. I have Claire's first cookbook, and it is the most helpful cookbook that I've ever had. She's so thorough. I don't know what type Claire is. There's been some speculation about whether she's a type 1 or a type 6. But at the end of the day, her cookbooks are so helpful to anybody in the kitchen. And then
great.
The next gift we recommend for the type 2 is an Ember smart mug that actually, controls the temperature of your coffee or your tea, because it's so easy to envision. One, I think all moms, it doesn't matter what type you are, all moms can relate to setting down your coffee and not coming back to it for hours.
Right.
But also type 2s, moms or not, are definitely going to take a sip and then go think of somebody else for a while and totally forget to drink their drink while it's warm. So,
yeah, that's awesome. I love that thoughtfulness. That's amazing.
Yeah. Well, let's move on to the type 3. So,
All right.
Beth, what can you tell us about the type 3?
Okay. So what we want to remember about type 3s is they desire to be valuable, admired, and to kind of be seen as impressive. So kind of achieving, being successful, because they fear being worthless, insignificant, or a failure of any kind in the sight of others. So this will correlate with their gift giving and receiving style. Now, for them, they truly enjoy the finer things of life. Gifts that they love are impressive, they're high end, they can be over the top, and something that others are going to see and admire. They also love gifts that will help them to achieve their goals and desires, to, again, impress others. So for them, it's a lot about how they can elevate who they are to that next level that they desire and that they see as getting them to be a better version of themselves. So in fact, they will tend to give gifts in a way that they want to be given, the same kind of gift. So take a mental note of what you see that type 3 giving to others and realize that they're going to want something most likely in that realm or something similar. So Christy, can you kind of share a little bit more of the gifts that you selected and why for the type 3?
Yeah. So the main gift we selected is the Full Focus Planner. So if you want to
Yes.
win the title of Best Gift Giver in your type 3's eyes, you will give them this Full Focus Planner. I use the planner. I've been using it for a little over a year. And
Mm-hmm.
the wonderful thing about the planner is it actually helps you to achieve your goals more quickly and to stay balanced in the process, because it's so
Yes.
easy to get in that achieving mindset and sacrifice all of these other things that really matter, probably more than the goal that you're pursuing. But you
Right.
get on that one track mind and tend to pull away from some relationships or self-care. So,
Mm-hmm.
the Full Focus Planner actually helps you set annual goals and then break those goals down into quarterly, weekly, and daily goals. So,
Mm-hmm.
it basically guarantees forward progress on your goals because you've been able to break them down into these bite sized pieces. And
Yeah.
once you get those goals onto the page in front of you, you can see if maybe you've been a little too lofty and given yourself 20 goals to pursue on the year instead of something doable like 8 to 10 that are
Right.
scattered throughout the year. So
Exactly.
I love that Full Focus helps achievers achieve more while doing less. So
Yep.
the idea of working smarter, not harder,
Mm-hmm.
not longer. So people.
And the company, the founder is an incredible type 3.
Mhm.
And I would say, I mean, obviously the Full Focus Planner was designed with the input of lots of team members. So lots of different types, because we know them. We both
Uh-huh.
worked for the company before your Enneagram coach. But what I love is that for the 3 in particular, like you said, they can get themselves too busy
Mhm.
and too in the weeds of focusing on work only. And what Full Focus does is they help balance the work-life balance. Yeah. And this Full Focus Planner actually does that for them. And so I think it's such a great tool for the 3s to accomplish and achieve what they desire, but also to balance it out with the fullness of life.
Yeah, absolutely. It prompts you to think about relationship goals and recreational goals. And so
Mm-hmm.
that is just such a gift,
Mm-hmm.
to be able to pursue goals without sacrificing the people and the activities that you love the most.
Yeah.
So, Full Focus is a friend of ours. We love the people who work there, love their mission.
High quality.
Yes, and they have also given a discount code for us to share with our listeners. So you can get 10% off the Full Focus Planner by using the code Beth10. And
Okay.
then,
Well, and I would also say, even though this is really a great gift for 3s, it like you're a 7,
mhm,
and you use it in a way that probably helps the 7 to stay focused
uh-huh.
and like on task. For me as a 9, I can get scattered and meander. And so the Full Focus Planner helps me to go, oh, there's the big 3 I need to be focusing on today or this week. Like it helps me to dial in instead of feeling overwhelmed. So it really, they've been so good at thinking through how is this beneficial for anyone,
Yes.
but we're highlighting the type 3 because we know that type 3s really love a good planner, and this is top notch.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah, when I first started using it, I started buying it for
Right,
everybody in my
right.
life.
We
My
actually
mom's
gave it
a type 9,
a
I'm a
gift to our
type 7,
team.
my husband's type 7, my sister's a 3, and
Yep.
my other sister's a 2. Really, all of us appreciated the clarity that we had on a
Hmm.
daily basis from
Yeah.
the Full Focus system.
Cool. What other gifts do you have for the 3s?
We're also recommending the Kindle Paperwhite because the
Mhm.
Type 3 has a reading goal that they're going to try to
Yep.
accomplish in the new year. So the Paperwhite will help them achieve that. And then we're recommending this is a company called Great Jones, which again, we'll talk
Mhm.
about Great Jones a little bit later, but they have a loaf pan for, baking banana bread, whatever. And the loaf pan is actually called the breadwinner. So it just
That's awesome.
felt too perfect. We had
Right.
to throw that in for the Type 3.
Oh, I love that. That is awesome. Very, very thoughtful.
All right. And moving on to the Type 4, what can you tell us to keep in mind when we're shopping for the Type 4s in our lives?
Yeah, so the type fours, we need to remember that they desire to be significant in their most authentic self so they can express themselves like in their most full and unique way because they fear being common, ordinary, and unable to be their full selves, like being emotionally um, shut down, not being able to express themselves. And all of this is going to correlate with their gift giving and receiving style. So we want to be sure that when we're giving a gift to a four, that it is not something that everyone else can get out there. So, like going to the big box stores out there, that's just not going to cut it. They really love thoughtful, one of a kind gifts that no one else has out there. So, anything that can set them apart and that really correlates with their desires, their unique style, who they authentically are, their passions, all of that is going to feel really high value to them. So again, avoid, gifts that might be just very practical, impersonable, maybe over the top flashy. A four is just really wanting gifts that truly represent who they are. And a lot of times fours feel misunderstood. So when you can dial it in and give them a gift that really reflects who they are, they're going to feel understood and seen, and that's so important for them. So what would you share? Or I'm sorry, what did you pick out uniquely for the type fours?
Yeah, we chose the a particular piece of art from Lindsay Letters, but as you're saying about the Type 4 wanting something unique, I encourage people to look all over Lindsay's site and
Yes.
pick out whichever particular piece of artwork reminds them of their Type 4 friends. But the
Hmm.
one we've chosen um, celebrates a wide range of emotions. There are so many, hundreds of hues and shifting textures. And so
Mm.
this artwork, it's called Fairy Garden.
Oh,
And
wow.
so it's easy to imagine our Type 4 friends putting this on the wall in their office or in their bedroom, and those colors can inspire a whole new wave of
Mm.
imagination. And there's this feeling when you look at the piece of moodiness. There are some, darker hues, but then
Hmm.
there's also this light over the top. And so that feels like such a beautiful celebration of the Type 4s in our lives who can go into the depths and the darkness, but also
Right.
bring such amazing joy.
Hmm.
So, Lindsay, we talked about her a little bit earlier, and she just believes everybody is worthy of meaningful art. And part of her story is that she has, struggled with anxiety. And
Mm.
so she has personally experienced the benefits of having art around her in her
Hmm.
office or in her home that helps her emotionally and helps her, you know, free herself of that anxiety and just
Yeah.
feel better. So that's why we've chosen Lindsay art by Lindsay Letters.
Mm.
Um, we also have selected a couple of other gifts. So one of those is a light therapy light. I have not used one of these, but I have.
I have.
You have?
They are amazing. Oh, they're amazing. Yes, because I have, SADS,
Yeah,
seasonal affect disorder.
yeah.
My dad has it. They are amazing. You use it for like 10, 15, 20 minutes a day, when you're just kind of getting ready and you have it kind of in the peripheral view, and it really, really helps with mood for sure.
I have looked into them so many times because my husband has seasonal affective
Hmm.
disorder. And so I'll have to ask you more about
Yeah.
the one that you use. We have selected the one by Lumi, and
Hmm.
it just looks so beautiful. So it's easy to imagine again the Type 4, especially in the winter time, may
Yes.
feeling those strong, deep kind of sad emotions, and then this light
Right.
helping pick them up. And then we
Yeah.
also selected a Polaroid camera
I
because,
love that.
the type fours are constantly seeing things as art that others might miss as art. And so having that camera there where they can take a picture and create their
And
own
take it
art.
uniquely. Yeah. I mean, it's just a fun, like whimsical. Most people don't have the Polaroids
Uh-huh.
anymore. So I'd love that gift idea.
Yeah,
That's
thanks.
awesome. Well, okay, so let's get into type 5.
Mhm.
So type 5s, we want to remember that they desire to be competent, knowledgeable, and capable because they fear being incapable, ignorant, and also having all of their energy reserves that are inside completely depleted. And so that will all correlate to their gift giving and receiving style. So for the type 5s, they don't really appreciate kind of the useless, flashy, and superfluous gifts out there. They love gifts that are practical, that will enable them to enhance their knowledge and to master maybe a skill set that they desire. And all of that is really important for them when they're receiving gifts. So you can't go wrong giving them anything that's going to increase their knowledge in something they're passionate about, the best technology gadget out there for what they're passionate about. And basically what I would just say is ask your type 5s what they want because they don't like surprises and they really will research. Like, let's say they want a knife set, okay, because they are into cooking. They're going to select the specific knife set that works for them and they're going to research it and they're going to know. So you just going out and like grabbing a knife set might just not be exactly what they're wanting and needing. And so asking them actually is the best gift to them, saying, hey, I want to give you a gift in your passion of such and such. Can you tell me what that one special gift would be in that category? And if you need to give them a budget, that's fine. But that will really be beneficial for you and them to just ask. Now that sounds like for like the type 2s or others out there, like, oh, but I want to surprise them. I know like for you as a type 7, I want to surprise them. It's surprising to them that you're asking, right? Because they didn't know that you were going to give it to them, but it's also honoring who they are and giving the time and the space to research and to dial in exactly what they want. So what are the gifts that you selected for the type 5s?
Yeah, it's funny. As you're talking, I am picturing we have some friends who are a couple that's a type 2 and a type 5. And I have heard
Yeah.
from the type 2, like, he just wants boring stuff. Like, it's not fun to give gifts because I just have to get this very practical thing that's not really a gift. That's a
Yeah.
thing that you buy because you need it.
Yep. Yep.
So funny. Great advice. That would work.
Yes.
The advice you just gave is great for that couple. So the gift that we have picked out for the type 5 is designed to protect their energy because the type
Mhm.
5s, at the beginning of the day, they are already functioning with so much less energy than everyone around them. And they're forced to kind of take on this self-preservation approach as they think about
Right.
the day. So we have selected over-ear noise canceling headphones by
Mm-hmm.
Beats. And
Okay.
this
Yeah.
is really a gift for everyone because I'm thinking of
Right.
myself as a 7 when I'm saying
Yeah.
this, because it's going to enable the 5 to be a little more present. They can recharge without moving into full isolation mode.
Yep.
So when you have a bunch of people together over the holidays, your type 5 can have these headphones near them, and when they feel their energy depleting, they can just put those headphones on and have a
Yeah.
little time to themselves. And also those headphones serve as a signal to everyone around them, like, hey, I need a little bit of space right now, and I'll be back, I'll be present eventually, but I just need
Yep.
some time.
Well, and I
So
will say a plug for the 9s too. So there has been a lot of times I've had to work on projects and stuff that spills into late evenings, but I want to be with the family, but I have to be working and I don't want to be by myself because I want to be connected.
mhm.
So I'll put in noise canceling headphones in the living room and my family knows and like we all appreciate that we get to be together and I can take breaks here and there. So even for 9s, that's a great gift too. So I love that thoughtfulness of
Yeah.
that.
So, to continue for the five, we also picked out a couple of things to engage their bodies. So, like a puzzle and a candle making kit, because our
Yeah.
fives do tend to be, so cerebral and doing
Hmm.
repressed. So, anything that helps them engage their body a little bit more can ultimately be really helpful in a form of self care for them.
Right. Right.
So, let's move on to the type six.
Yeah,
And
I've got lots of sixes in my life. So,
yeah,
what we
tell us
want to
all
be,
about it.
yeah, what we want to be mindful is that they desire to be loyal, secure, and supported by those that they trust because they fear being unsafe, they fear being in trouble and abandoned, which all correlates with their gift giving and receiving style. So, sixes love gifts that show that they're loyal or that they have an affiliation with a group or a team or a brand. So, if you're person that you love, like my husband loves solo stoves, everything solo stove. Now we're looking at the pizza solo stove, cook pizzas. So they really enjoy the brands that they're loyal to or their teams that they're loyal to. So keep that in the back of your mind. And they really do love practical gifts that help them to become more skilled and confident because they struggle with self-doubt. And so that can be something to also consider. But if you have a six in your life that's more phobic six, so they feel their anxieties and succumb to them more, then you might want more practical gifts that bring a sense of security, safety, and the feeling of that secure, loyal community around them. They can really appreciate that. But if your six leans more towards the counterphobic side, and this is the sixes that, whether they know it or not, they're feeling anxious, but they move headlong into it. Like, nope, it's not going to get me. So these types of sixes enjoy more outrageous, funny, and entertaining gifts that enable them to experience the fullness of life. And I know my husband's that way, and we have several team members that they just love practical, silly gifts. And so that would be on that side of the spectrum, whereas my mom is on the other, and she wouldn't appreciate any practical gag gifts of any kind. So just be mindful of what type of six is out there. But overall, anything that shows loyalty, commitment, that shows security and warmth is going to be very helpful. So what did you pick out for the sixes?
Yeah, we selected a gift that celebrates the strong bond between the type six and their pet. Because I think about so many
Mhm.
sixes in my life, and they love their dog or their cat, and that
Absolutely.
serves as just a loyal companion for them. So we have selected some accessories from Wild One. Wild
Mm,
One is this trendy brand producing really beautiful pet essentials. So some of the thinking around this is that type sixes are so dutiful, and they're going to walk that dog. They're going to show up
right.
for people, and they have that strong sense of duty, but at the same time, man, there is such a playfulness that comes
Mhm.
with type sixes. And I
Absolutely.
love that about the people on our team who are
Mhm.
sixes.
Yes.
I'm always going to laugh. They're going to get everything done. I know they're so trustworthy, but they're also
Yep.
going to make me laugh while they're doing it.
Yep.
So these accessories by Wild One are fun and functional. So that kind of
Mm.
combination of sixes. Another amazing thing about this brand is that they actually partner with animal rescues around the US to save a
Mm.
dog a day. So
Oh,
they're all about
wow.
providing a safe space for dogs throughout the US. And who can appreciate a safe space more than a type six?
Absolutely.
So, a couple of other gifts we recommend for your sixes, especially if they are not pet lovers, are the Merly denim jacket from Able. So, this is
Mhm.
a jacket that goes with everything.
Mhm.
Always there in a pinch when you need a jacket before you walk out the door. And then the other gift idea is a bedroom air purifier. So you can
Yep.
go ahead and, breathe easy in your bedroom or your office space or wherever.
Absolutely. All right, so we're gonna head to your type sevens. And when we're thinking about type sevens and gift giving, we want to remember that they desire to be free, to experience life to the full, and to find full contentment in their life. So they do this because they fear being trapped in emotional pain. They fear boredom and missing out on something fun. And that all correlates to their gift giving and receiving styles. So type 7s love gifts that are fun, whimsical, and experiential. So something that they can do. They love being surprised and given a gift that they would thoroughly enjoy, but never thought of it themselves. So just at the surprise of a 7 and the newness is really great for the 7. So kind of the opposite of what we talked about with 5s. 7s are less interested in like practical self-improvement gifts, and they desire gifts that will bring them joy and delight at the core of who they are. So if you're going to give a gift, maybe make it an experience that's fun. And they also love to do fun things with people. So it's not just about doing a fun experience by themselves. So it's always like with a companion. So think about that. But what are the gifts that you set aside for 7s?
You just nailed it. Your description. I'm like, yes, that's what I want. Everything you described. So we have picked out the starting lineup. It's called the Starting Lineup by Great Jones. This is 3 pieces of bakeware. So,
okay.
the type 7 is always on the lookout for tools that bring a little extra to the everyday. Yeah. And Great Jones as a brand is all about helping you make the kitchen your happy place. So there's so much 7 energy in what they do. They have brightly colored bakeware. They have punny product titles so that Great Jones is the brand that produces the breadwinner we discussed earlier.
Yeah, right.
And they have playlists on their website to pair with your favorite pasta. So they are turning this, this tool to do what feels like a chore sometimes, cooking or baking, and transforming it into an experience. Wow. So this is just perfect for a type 7. I own some Great Jones tools because of this, experiential aspect to a product.
Yeah.
And then
you're absolutely right. 7s hate the mundane tasks. And we do have to cook and eat. Why not make it fun, right? And that's exactly what anyone that's married or in a relationship with a 7, make the mundane fun, no matter what it is, and you'll see them really shine. So, okay, what were the other gifts that you picked?
Yeah, we picked out pickleball paddles. Pickleball is all the rage. And so again, that, like you were talking about, adventure, experience, something to do with others, those paddles will help them with that. And then lifestyle passports by Letterfolk. So Letterfolk produces all of these cute little passports that will be for coffee shops or trips or museums. And so you can actually, write in your experience with different types of roast that you've had with coffee, or pencil in all of your trips to national parks. So a really fun log of all of your adventures.
That's so cool. I love that idea.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's dive into 8 and then we'll have 9. So everyone hang in there. We're almost to the amazing type 9s. I know all the 9s are like, but what about me? We're almost there. Okay, so type 8s, we want to remember that they desire to be able to assert themselves and protect themselves from being controlled, harmed, because they really fear being manipulated and challenged and losing their autonomy. And that all correlates with their gift giving and receiving style. So the type 8s, what we want to know and remember also is that they have a very tender heart behind their strong exterior. And they love gifts that are extremely thoughtful and show them that you see that vulnerable, tender side and how much it means to you. That really warms their heart, because a lot of times people are just reflecting back to them how strong they are or how tough they are or how maybe blunt they are. But to see past that and their tenderness and what's really going on means a lot to them. But we also want, to realize that they also love being spoiled. They love the finer things in life. Don't worry about going too big. Over-the-top gifts are welcome and experiences are welcome. So they love to travel. So maybe a travel gift card or an experience really means a lot to them. They are the types that can do a lot and experience a lot. They're very body conscious in the sense of like, they don't want to just sit around. So something that they can do and experience to the full means a lot to them. But nothing generic, mundane, or insignificant. They want it big and they want it wow. So just keep that in mind. Christy, what did you pick out for the 8s?
We have picked out the Beast Blender. So this is a particular type of blender.
Okay.
It
I love that
released,
name.
I don't know, a year, 18 months ago, and it has been all the rage ever since. Such a flashy name for it.
Yeah.
And the thinking here is that, the type 8 is the snowplow. You always talk about
Yep.
that. They're paving the way for others. And they have so much energy and this kind of aggression towards life, but at the same time, they need to be refueling. And so to give this gift is to help them stay healthy and hydrated as they're doing all of this amazing work for all of the other types.
Yep.
And I just love the name of it because I think every type 8 in my life would say, yeah, I'm a beast, like in the best possible way.
Absolutely.
So this just fits perfectly for your type 8s. And then a couple
That's
of
awesome.
other gift ideas are a punching bag and boxing gloves, because they do have a lot of energy to expend and they do want to fight somebody sometimes.
Yeah. Well, and yeah, sometimes it's not even that they want to fight a person, but they have this energy and this passion that they want to get out. And that would literally be a great idea. Like just to exert that strong passion through that means, or ask them if there's another way that they physically want to exert their energy. Maybe they want to run and they want like the best running shoes. But I do agree a what did you call it? Punchy bag would be really ideal for a lot of 8s for sure.
Yeah.
I know my 8 wing feels like that at sometimes.
And then we also are suggesting like a high-end robe because they need some self-care. And so this can go a long way with helping them refuel and get refreshed and then go back out with all of that beast energy.
Exactly. Yeah. And they do need to learn how to dial it back. So that robe would be perfect. All right. Last but not least, my type 9s, we need to remember that they desire inner stability and peace of mind and harmony with everyone that's around them because they fear conflict, tension, and making others unhappy, which all correlates with how they give gifts and receive gifts. So now, you can never go wrong with giving your type 9 something that enables them to feel cozy, comfortable, and relaxed. I love being cozy and comfortable all the time. If you saw where I worked, I'm either in a couch, outdoor patio chair, or a recliner in my bedroom, all overlooking the beautiful Tennessee hills. Like, don't put me in a desk in a room without windows, which is actually our studio here. It's fine for just podcasts, but I'm not going to stay in here and do work. So anything cozy, comfortable, beautiful, 9s love that. They also love anything that is going to help them to feel connected with others in a peaceful, not like exuberant, outlandish way, but a very peaceful way. But remember that 9s don't like to rock the boat or cause others to go out of their way to give them a gift. So for that reason, they're usually not going to ask for big gifts and they're going to want to keep it simple. In fact, most 9s haven't even given themselves the time or the permission to even know what they want. Because deep down, they feel like it's like being selfish or prideful or overthinking themselves and what are others going to think, and others are going to have to spend money on them because ultimately we think we don't matter, we're not that important, or we don't want others to have to go out of their way. But if you desire to give your type 9 a special gift that is specific to their passions and desires, then you're going to need to do a few things. And this is where you're going to need to ask them months ahead of time to start thinking about what they would enjoy. And you're probably thinking, months? Yes, months. You need to give them a deadline and like just let them know, hey, I really want to honor you and give you a gift. And I want to know by this time, because I'm going to need to be able to order it and get it shipped and get it to me. So I need to know by this time. And here's the thing, you can't let them squirm out of it or ignore it. They might at first, they're going to feel like, no. And then they might succumb and say, okay, but you're going to have to hold them to it because they're going to ignore it and forget about it, hoping that you're going to forget about it. But instead, you want them to know how much you desire to truly give them something meaningful that impacts their life. So encourage them gently and softly, but also be adamant that this is something that's really important to you to know what they want and what they desire, and that you're giving them plenty of time to do it. So to help them overcome certain hurdles, because nines are going to have a lot of hurdles in this. One, they won't know right away usually, or it's just hard for them to assert themselves and say, but they're going to really be tripped up on the budget because maybe they want something that's $50 and they don't know, are you only wanting to spend 10, or you want to spend $200, but they're only going to tell you the $10 item. So give them a range, a budget range of what you're thinking, and that will free them up to really focus in on that range. So that they know exactly what won't disrupt, like rock the boat. But most importantly, when they do tell you what it is that they would enjoy, be so excited for them. Thank them for taking the time to really think through it and to share it with you. And just to be proud of them for just really going there. Because I know for the rest of the types are like, how is this so hard? I know for you as a 7, you're probably like, I could give you thousands of things that I would enjoy. But for the 9, it feels disruptive to the relationship. And so setting up these things and helping them to overcome these hurdles would be so important. So with that in mind, Christy, what are the gifts that you have picked for them?
Yeah, the top gift that we have selected is a photo calendar by Artifact Uprising. I love Artifact Uprising. I do photo books I have a wedding photo book. We do travel photo books every time we go on a big adventure. So the quality is going to be amazing.
Yeah.
And this photo calendar will be really meaningful because, at the end of the day, the type 9 just wants everybody to be happy. But we can't actually give that as a gift. That's not realistic to ensure everybody's happy in the room. So since you can't buy that, give the next best thing, which is this photo collection of warm memories with the type 9 and their closest people.
Mm-hmm.
And as you're, populating this photo calendar, it may be difficult to find pictures that the 9 is actually in, because so often the type 9 is the one taking the photo. But no matter what, do not put together a photo calendar that leaves out the type 9. Like, they need to be in several of these photos, because you want to make sure that they know their presence matters. Mm-hmm. It is so important. So the photo calendar will really help them just feel so loved and so comforted every time they look at that picture of, good times with friends and family.
Right.
And then we have a couple of other recommendations. One is the Ultra Mini Portable Projector from Kodak. So the idea behind this is that the type 9 will be able to create special moments from anywhere. It's so portable. You can, set up a spontaneous movie night and be cuddling up with, all of your closest people and have this great experience without having to exert too much energy. So it can still be this adventure, but not one that requires too much energy out of you. And then the other gift idea is the Breeze Comforter by Buffy. I have one of these. It feels like you're laying on a cloud or covered up by a cloud. And this comforter, it makes me think about that reel that Libby did several months ago. It was when you can't find a type 9, and then she zooms in and you're on the couch covered up in covers and just, all snuggled in. And so this comforter is amazing for that sort of thing.
That sounds amazing. Yeah, one of the best gifts I got was something very similar to that. Well, thank you so much for just putting all of these gifts together. But I also want people to know that in the gift guide, there are even more gift ideas for families and kids, stocking stuffers. So be sure to check out everything in the gift guide, which is at yourenneagramcoach.com/gift-guide. Again, Christy, you and Jane and your sister, Kelsey, put together an amazing, beautiful gift guide that I am so appreciative. And I know everyone that's listening that goes and looks at it, they're also going to appreciate what you did for them. Well, guys, for the next few weeks, we're going to allow our team to spend some time with their families. So we're going to have you all listening to some of our favorite past episodes. So be sure to tune into those because we picked them just for you. And then we'll see you in the new year after Christmas with some brand new great content on productivity. And don't forget that the Enneagram reveals your need for Jesus, not your need to work harder. It is the gospel that transforms us. Thanks for joining us today.